The discerning observers around the world are now concerned that increasingly might is being considered as right in shaping the relations between the countries across the world. There is also a consensus view that any country with expansionist greed and using oppressive methods and aggressive tactics to overcome other countries should not have the last laugh. Having seen this general view of the people, let us discuss about Dalai Lama's reincarnation. In such circumstances, millions of people around the world who hold such progressive views are pleased that His Holiness the Dalai Lama has finally asserted himself in expressing his view that the Dalai Lama's incarnation, as per Tibet's tradition, should be his decision. Obviously, he has said that this should not be the decision of Chinese government. Against the insistence of the Chinese government that the anointment of the next Dalai Lama in Tibet should be as per the approval of the Chinese government, His Holiness Dalai Lama has clearly and categorically now said that the institution of the Dalai Lama would continue and that only the Gaden Protrang Trust would have the authority to recognize the reincarnation and anointment of the next Dalai Lama. Spokesperson of the Chinese government has reacted sharply against the announcement of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, which is only to be expected from the present leadership of the Chinese government. Considering its methods and tactics to keep vice-like grip over occupied Tibet, it is really strange that the communist government in China, which has no faith in religion and is controlled by self-confessed atheists, now want to appoint religious head. This speaks volume about the tactics of the Chinese government. Now, let us look into the firm stand that has been taken by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Perhaps this is the first time in the last several decades that His Holiness the Dalai Lama has taken such a firm stand. This implies and makes it clear that Tibetans would never surrender to the Chinese dictates and would continue to strive for liberating Tibet from China's aggression and protect the dignity and culture and traditions of the Tibetan people and regain Tibet's glory. Now, in these circumstances, let us look into the silence of other countries. Around 7 decades back, China entered Tibet and occupied the country, and in the process killed thousands of protesting Tibetans. Though China has been occupying Tibet for several decades now, it is an illegitimate occupation. Unfortunately, all countries around the world, including India, have virtually approved China's occupation of Tibet and are remaining silent about China's violent methods and oppression in Tibet. It is very obvious the relations between countries today in the world are shaped by self-interest, trade relationships, and economic benefits, and certainly not based on fairness in dealings. There is no indication that such trend would be reversed in the foreseeable future. In such circumstances, the assertive stand of His Holiness the Dalai Lama against Chinese imposition of the next Dalai Lama may only be watched by other countries and most probably without reacting. It is good to see that India has said that only the present Dalai Lama and the convention established by him can determine the successor. This stand of India is a positive development, though it is too little and too late. Earlier, India has made a mistake by approving the the occupation of Tibet by China. In any case, India is unlikely to go beyond the present statement of supporting the Dalai Lama's decision, as India also, like several other countries, is guided by economic interests in deciding relationship with China, particularly since China is now a superpower with around 50% of the world production of products being made in China. Now let us look into the confidence boost for Tibetans. At the same time, the assertion of His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, provide faith and confidence to Tibetans and admirers of Tibet around the world, realizing that there is now a decisive turn for the future of Tibet. There are reported to be around 100,000 Tibetans in India and several thousands of Tibetans in other countries, and most of them have acquired the citizenship of other countries. However, in the heart of Tibetans, wherever they are, and citizens of whichever country they are now, they should pledge themselves to strive to protect Tibetan's culture, tradition, and value system as per the lead given by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Tibetans, wherever they are, should crave to see independent Tibet with its traditional Christian glory and should not rest until this objective is realized. They have to prove that might should not be deemed to be right, and this can be well proved by a sustained movement based on principles of justice and human welfare. This should be the guiding spirit for the Tibetans around the world. His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, has given the Tibetans the direction and by his statement has now stilled the conscience of the world community. We should come forward to support Tibet's cause and undo the justice done to Tibet by China. The Tibetans around the world should take the initiative to organize the world opinion to appreciate the clarion cause of His Holiness the Dalai Lama to uphold Tibet's tradition, value system, and independence. Please share this talk with your friends and associates, spread the message, and support the cause of Tibet and its glory. Thank you very much.